Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, this is going to be a little something different, as you see from the title, but I'm doing a story time video today, telling a story from my life that I wanted to share on my YouTube channel. So, this is kind of weird because I've never done this before, but so here we go. So this story, as you can see from the title, obviously, is this time that I broke my arm. So breaking my arm was really scary for me because it was the first time I ever broke a bone. So I was about, I think, 10 years old, and I was just hanging out with my friends on the block, and we went down to this park, and we were just playing a normal game of tag, and I ran up the playground, and I hid on top of the playground, and then my friend that was it started running up towards me, so I decided to go down the slide. And that was a big mistake because I went down the slide on my stomach. So going down on the slide on my stomach was a terrible choice because as I went down, I noticed that I was sliding a little too fast because it was cold. I was wearing a jacket, and my jacket was pretty slick. So I was sliding down the slide really fast now, and something happens. I don't make it like 1 inch down the slide before I plummet to my doom. I fall off the slide, and as I'm falling, I'm thinking that, oh gosh, I'm going to die. So as I am plummeting to the ground, I hit the ground, and I feel nothing. And I'm surprised. I'm like, what happened? There's a slight pain in my arm, but I didn't think of it too much. I was still in pain, though, so I started crying, and it didn't hurt as much because I was in shock. I had broken my arm, and since I was covering it with my hand because I was holding it, I could not see the whole bentness in my arm. And let me tell you, this was disgusting because my arm was bent like the letter S. It was disgusting. It was like bent literally in the shape of an S. But I couldn't see that because I was too in shock to just like look at it and try to like examine it. So me and my friends are like, okay, this is bad. Let's go back home and just chill. So we get out from the park and we start walking home. And at that time, my dad's friend is there, and he worked at urgent care. So then my dad's friend that worked at urgent care looked at my arm and said a couple of words that have now turned into a story. Yep, you have a broken arm. I was in shock. I was still crying from it. I got home and I was just not happy and super in shock to hear that my arm was broken. So he said, we're going to get you down to urgent care and we're going to check it out. My dad and my mom weren't home, so I obviously just went with my dad's friend. And I went down and they looked at it, the people at urgent care looked at it, and they were like, oh yeah, that's definitely broken. And that was the first time I actually looked at my arm. I looked at it and almost like thought that I was like somebody was playing a prank on me because I don't know why I thought that, but like I literally thought that because it did not look normal. Like that, my arm looked so deformed after that like it looked fake. So I was in the urgent care room just waiting until my dad actually got to the urgent care and was now talking to the urgent care's doctors and was talking about my arm. I was just sitting on one of those like hospital bed kind of things, just they have in the rooms and stuff. I was just laying on one of those like chilling. It didn't hurt as much now because they kind of like I forget what they actually did because it was not that long ago, but it was still enough to forget. But like, I think they did something to my arm where it didn't hurt as much or something like that. They might have put me under medications at that point, but I don't know. I was just flabbergasted at the fact that my arm was in the shape of an alphabet letter. So now, after the urgent care situation, we were down to the hospital. Down at the hospital, we went in straight away, and they told us that I was gonna have to get my arm straightened out again. And so I was terrified. They had to put a bunch of needles in me, put me under sleeping medicine, and so everything was just terrifying for that moment. And yeah, I basically was just asleep the whole time. And let me tell you about the story, basically a mini story about what happened under my sleep. So under my sleep, it was weird. It was like I was looking out of like 6 eyes, and then it like went to like looking out of like 9 eyes, so many eyes. And yeah, it was just weird. And then every time I would swallow, I would be able to see the real world again, and like be able to like see outside of my weird 9-eyed vision. And I would see them, and then I would just close my eyes again and go back to seeing out of like 9 eyes. So then yeah, so I basically was asleep like that for a little bit, and then eventually I was woken up. I was still a little bit drowsy, but I could understand everything that people were saying, but I couldn't speak. I was so mad. I was so mad because the whatever it's called, the medicine, I'll just call it that. The medicine was like still like in me, like tricking me. So basically everything I would try to speak to, like talk to them, I couldn't do. So I could understand and I could hear perfectly, but I couldn't talk. So like they were just laughing, like sometimes they were just laughing at how like I was speaking like that, but I could totally understand them, and I was trying to act normal, but I just couldn't. So eventually I got out of the hospital, and they were like, come back about a week later and we'll give you a cast for it. Or maybe it was the day. I still can't remember some of this stuff. It was kind of me kind of just sitting in a room while my parents listened to all the information that they brought to them, but I was basically just listening to some of the information. But yeah, eventually, a little bit later, I got a cast. It was a big red cast, and it went right on my right arm, which sucked because my right arm was my dominant arm. So, school ruined. Any kind of like type of playing video game ruined because I had to use my right hand to play. Any kind of thing that had to use my things, my arms, sports, just being active and like running around and just like maybe rolling on the ground or something was dangerous. Getting it wet was dangerous. It was a terrible thing. And eventually I got to get the cast off, but I had to wear a secondary cast because it was still broken. Not broken, sorry. They refixed it that day, but it was still like weak, but it was less weak. I can now use my arm more, and yeah, it was good. But then my next cast was blue, and I had it, and it was a little bit tinier. It was like about a half of the size of the other cast. It's pretty small, and there's not a lot to tell about the stories of like when I had the cast on because I mean, it was just me going to school and having a normal life. Otherwise, it was just me having a struggle having to wear that thing all day. But I eventually got the cast off, and I had a brace, which the brace was me able to actually use my hand. It was just the brace was to keep it in place after the uncomfortableness of the casts. So then I got that off and I wore the brace. Eventually I could just unstrap the brace from my arm and I was free. I finally had my arm back, and today I'm still using my arm to play video games, do sports, everything I can that I wasn't able to do normally. So yeah, this is a little different video that I usually do, but I've seen a lot of story time tellers, like animators and stuff. I still need to work on my skills on animating. I'm trying to make a YouTube channel on animating, but I just don't have the skills yet. So I'm working on that. But for now, I'm just gonna do some commentary. I'm just gonna do some commentary story time, and until I can get some more skill to do animating better, I'll start doing that. So if you guys like the story time idea and you guys want to see more of it, like the video, comment, and as always, subscribe to this channel. You'll always be a part of the Bowser crew and the Bowser Gamers, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and yeah. Now you guys can just watch me do this turn of okay, whatever. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you're having an awesome day, and if you're not, I hope this video makes it better. See ya.